How far apart to plant broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage plants, and then what to interplant with them. This little set of plants is 1.5 feet, 18 inches apart. And as you can see, there's some space in between them. These plants right in front of them are also spaced 18 inches apart. They're mature, full-sized, about to be harvested. As you can see, there's a head of broccoli nearing ready right there. And so that's as big as these plants get. So if you plant them at 1.5 feet apart, they're most definitely touching and doing just a little bit of crowding, but it's not so bad. 1.5 feet is a decent spacing for broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage. You can plant even a little bit farther. Let me show you some 2 foot plus plantings. So these ones are planted 27 inches apart, so just a tad over 2 feet. And as you can see, there's a lot of space in between the plants at first. So the downside of that, especially if you're watering on a drip system with emitters a lot closer than that 27 inches, is that you're wasting space, maybe wasting water. So I've interplanted with cilantro, that's cilantro, and parsley. So these ones are parsley. That uses the space in between, and by the time the cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage plants are big and totally shading the interplants, well, then you can just harvest them out or leave them be. Now here's a row that's only planted 1.5 feet apart, and they're a little bit older, but I've planted lettuce in between them. And so you can see that by the time the plants get a good size, that lettuce is pretty big. Lettuce grows fast, so that lettuce is pretty big. You can harvest a whole head by about the time that the brassica crop is big and shading the lettuce too much. Let me show you one more row. Okay, here's one more row. This is cauliflower planted 18 inches apart. It's pretty big, close to forming heads now. At the end here is a cabbage plant and some chard and collards. The chard and collards are only 9 inches apart, so they won't need to be thinned or anything. That's a good spacing for those. But the cabbage and cauliflower were planted double that, 18 inches, and then in between were heads of lettuce, and I've harvested almost all of them. There's a couple still left to be harvested. It's a little bit late now. They should have already been harvested, really, because the cauliflower is kind of providing too much shade at this point. But that's it. So by the time the plants close in at that spacing, you can have harvested your interplants of lettuce, and it's a nice, kind of nice way to use your space.